¿verdad? Vamos a ver. Ok, ya empezamos. All right. Escuela Herrita de Sabiduría Práctica Universal. Aquí una vez PK. Once again here. Putting it down for the Isupk, letting all the blacks, the Hispanic, and the Native Indians know that we are God's chosen people, and that we are here once again, to bring the truth, that we may all come together as one, and bring back the Most High, in this time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Makabaya Yahawada, thanks for watching. Nashak Yahawada, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Apayak, Yakazak, thanks for watching, for tuning in. I got a great show today. There's some great things happening. Well, both sides, great things happening, but at the same time, some interesting things happening. In Cali and all across the nation, we're tuning in. Thank you, Rob Mayon, for tuning in too. We're gonna start our show today, and today we're gonna talk about Chicano history. I always go into Mexican history, Latin American history. Today I want to kind of tune into Chicano history because we got a great event coming out here to LA. There's something happening in San Diego at a famous Chicano Park. Chicano Park, if you don't know, Chicano Park is an important park for Chicanos for a long time, and interesting things for Chicanos. It's one of the that have century have parts, and I'm going to okay, because I want everybody to know. And if you Diego, California, that's the park in San Diego, California, and it's right, it's a for us here in California, and probably crossing the history of, for throughout the 80s, the 90s. If you go into the stuff, it's been around since 8 back. It goes is the point. The reason I'm bringing it up is because there's an incident coming up to take down the historical for so long with us, and now these races, and just to destroy here and fill you guys in. Break it down. This is Chicanos. Okay, well, this is an important landmark. Let me bring it up here, you a little bit about what Chicano Park is. And so, thanks for tuning in. Once again, thanks for tuning in. And here we go. I'm going to start this whole study with the Chicano Park. So, the park is located beneath the San Coronado Bridge, Logan part in San Diego. This predominantly Mexican American. Some of my shows, I highlight you. Chicano in LA, where of the gang, Chicano, what I mean, gangs, this and that. Well, we've had our upsnesses there. Particularly, we love to eat in that area because I took all the Akim, all the Adawan and everybody. I took them down there to have a goat, which is called birria, and where I come from, birria. And I took them down there, and they were amazed. They got to catch some of the cultural events that were happening there. They also got to taste the food in that area, and they were amazed by just the whole the love that the Mexican people have when we go down into that area, you know. And they were amazed at the food. They were amazed at everything. We went down there, and they had like a outdoor kind of marketplace out there, you know, during the day. Another thing that they have there is mariachi corner. If you need a mariachi for your event, you go down there. And so this place is a landmark for us Chicanos here in LA. It's the Placita Rivera, if you know what that is. And these areas are in that particular spot of LA, you know. And what we're going through right now is that these areas are being gentrified, right? They're bringing a lot of Chinese, and what they're doing is they're raising the rental costs of these ridiculous amount area because it's out of our reach. You know, we can't pay these rents, bills, because it's crazy. And a lot of increase also. That's right, Anaya, you know that. So a lot of these businesses, their water and power, it's all because why are they trying to do that? Because they're trying to move our people out of that area. You know, that's the truth. That's why they're trying to do, because the communities that are being built there, the condominium, the condos and everything that's being built there, the apartments and everything, they're giving incentive to those companies to build there, giving them money and incentives to work, but they're not giving incentives to our people that are already there. They're not saying, you know, we're going to help you with this or with that. They're not doing that to our community. To our community, they're making it a difficult task for us to be able to keep that income and have to, you know, pay our workers and also have to pay the increase of rent, the increase of water, the increase of power. And I know a lot of businesses down there because I've been eating there for years. I'm from that area, so I've been eating there for years. I love that spot. That's like home to me. So to see that this happening to my people, it really sad. You know, I know because, you know, on my show with Dodger Stadium, you know, and happened to Chavez Ravine of when they were forced. Remember, Chavez Ravine was also a Latin American community. That community, they had, you know, all that we see there, and we seen how those people were forced, right? And now you see Dodger Stadium there, and once again, the sad Dodger hats, they destroyed our, and you know, when I go out on the street, I do later on, East LA is a white and a predominantly Chinese community. Are we going to go around be proud of that? We've got to today stand at Isupk because we're the ones bringing up these important topics to all of the community. You know, one thing is that I know a lot of people speak of this, but we seem to be targeting the pity of the white man. Hopefully the white man will have some compassion for us and, you know, change their ways. They're not going to change their ways. They're not doing this for us. They're doing it for their own benefit, for their own profit. If you watch my show a little while ago for Puerto Rico, I was going through the commandments, through the commandments of the Lord, and how, you know, in the book of Deuteronomy, you know, the curses, we're cursed to this, you know, this is what's happening to us. So we have to come together as a community and try to, you know, keep it going. You know what I mean? So we're going to continue. I see that Adawan, my broadcast is interrupted. Let me see. I don't see it being interrupted right now. But if anything, let me know. You know, the devil's trying to in the white man does it. But I see that I'm still on right now. I'm good. Maybe that was that prior show that happened to me. That's what it is. I did see that I was interrupted a few times in my prior show. It's up again. I put it up, you know, going to my show, Puerto Rico, Isupk Puerto Rico. And right there, you'll be able to see the show again. I recorded it. No matter what they do with it, we're going to put it back up there. We need to let our people know. This is going through the moment in history where we got these white racist people trying to go down there and shut down our park. And in a minute, I'm going to try to get so you can see what I'm talking about here, and you're going to bear with me. I'm going to try to get on. Remember, Isupk Latino America on YouTube. I'm there too. If I go up, jump on there, you can catch me there, okay? So this Mexican American park in Barrio Logan in San Diego, right? Central San Diego. The park is home to the country's largest collection of outdoor murals. And I know you know what a mural is, right? Because us Mexicans, we're famous for painting murals. And you know, the mural is to a long time. Like, people don't know, when you see murals, you think, oh, that's just the murals of Latin America. Ver que los murales de México y aquí en los Chicanos, eso enseña que nosotros somos humanidad, que la gente chicana, lo que tú le dices los cholos, ¿verdad? Los chicanos, hermosos, y pintamos. Esa es una clase de arte que no es nada nuevo. Esto viene de qué morales, ¿verdad? Y de dónde vienen. So in the early 1800s, 1900s, because we're going into Chicano Park, I want to make sure that I touch on all the aspects of what Chicano Park and you're trying to take down at this place called, if you're online, you have to see this. You have to see what and what. And what's going to en los tiempos de los 1900, ¿verdad? Diego Rivera, José Clemente Orozco, y Siqueiros. Now, these are the three greatest muralists in Mexico now. A mural is that you got to understand that it's very important in Mexico. Now, to you, it may be graffiti. To the white man, it may be us writing on walls. But if you understand the history of the mural, you'll understand that this has been coming around since the early 1900s, possibly even before then. We're talking about, I don't know, late 1800s to the 1900s. And Mexico was famous for having three of the world's most famous muralists. And when I say world, I mean that these muralists went to Russia, went to America, went to Europe, and they painted murals on some of the most prestigious places in those countries too. And one of the first person I'm going to bring up is José Clemente Orozco. José Clemente was from the 1800s to the 1950s. You know, his real era was in the 1900s, is when he became one of the most famous muralists of Mexico. This man was by far one of the greatest muralists, drawing the revolution, drawing what else? The battle of Mexico with the Aztecs. You know, he had a whole series of murals, and these murals to this day still stand in Mexico. Some of the wonders of Mexico is to go and see these murals. And why I'm bringing this up is because all the San Diego, that we understand how and when I bring up and other muralists, it's because these people were an important part to here are trying to go into Chicago, trying to destroy the murals that have been there for such a long. They also have sculptures there. So they have these sculptures and that's where we come from. Now we know that our ancestors were not on the right track, correct? But are completely force us into their own culture ways, you know, destroying our history. You destroy our history, they, you know, we're destroyed as a people. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you some of the images of some of the murals that this man Jose Clemente Orozco and some of these other muralists had to come up with. So let me bring this one up real quick and see that. That's one of the murals painted by Jose Clemente Orozco. And as you can see here, this is the revolution. This is what it was. The Orozco that had, right? This is the time when they made this challenge, and that was when they were, you know, because the French, you know, they had no pity for the Mexicans. You know, they were out there, the Mexicans. Let me bring, and of course, you know, here's another one that we, and as you can see, this is very important. And as you can see, these that you see here, these are in his view, and these skeletons were people. And if you knew about this, what he was drawing was how our people were destroyed. He would draw, you know, our people and politicians and how they were being destroyed. Let me bring up another one, right? So you can see this picture because it's like, because right, I'm gonna go into right, there's another right here that you see here. This here is a politician, and look how he's grabbing for the, and these are the soldiers, and this is war right here. As you can see the cannons, and look at this guy here. This is a priest from the Catholic Church, and look how he drew the falling over for the revolutionary right here, and nothing like that. A Zapata or whoever you want to call a French. See, and this is a soldier, our revolutionist, right? So the trade were to all our people, because, you know, they showed how the struggle of Mexico was in those times. Here's another one. See that? The land, our peasant people. This is bag, you know, education. Look at these are weapons, you know. So these are the kind of things that that Jose Clemente Orozco would paint. He would paint about the struggle of the people in Mexico. That's what he was painting. He was painting how this struggle was going on. I mean, right? Because these are the dark Mexicans, right? As slaves, right? You see that? And these murals are important in Mexico. This is the reasons I bring that Mexican and these other cultures people have been going through a lot with the French. Let me bring up another one. And to a Mexican, you know what I mean? Like me, I've always been a big fan of the muralist, Jose Clemente Orozco. Not, you know, just to let you know, he carries my last name. So I've always been intrigued with knowing about, not only does he carry from the same area that I was from, right? So you see this, the Spaniards that he drew conquering our country, and how they're the upper class echelon, and he themselves into their own, you know, into their own hands. And that's how they took Mexico here. And the reason I'm bringing it up, I'm going to continue. Look at here. Here's another picture, right? These are peasants here. And being there more, right? And so I'm not going to go too far into this. They got so many, you know, that it's just incredible. You know, and trying to boot us out of Chicano Park in Los Angeles. I mean, in San Diego. I'm gonna bring it up right now. What I'm talking about. All right, so give me 1 second, and we're gonna try to bring it up, and then I'm gonna show you the murals that are at Chicano Park, right? And okay, so let me bring it out real quick because I want to keep everybody in tune with what's happening, right? Here, right here, okay. They say that they got a picnic that's going to be taking place at Chicano Park, and here we go. Let me see. The San Diego. Okay, here we go. Event picnic. Patriotic picnic. Patriots, of course, these white people that are going to go down there and try to take this park and try to make it their own. And when I say make it their own, they're going to raise the American flag, and their intention is to the murals that are posted at Chicano Park. His name is Roger Ogden, right? Roger Ogden behind this whole movement to go down to Chicano Park and take down the murals, take down the flag, and make this this now. But we can see Roger. Todo este que quiere mandar a los chicanos que están. So Roger Ogden has organized the first since September between calling us conservative activists. We're not conservative activists who own all of a sudden they're conservative active people. These are people that are, these parks shouldn't be like that, Americanized, you know, and that we're anti-American. That's what they're saying, that we're anti-American because Roger Ogden wants to go down there and raise his flag, take down these murals, and he's making a big stink out of this. You know what I'm saying? And so what are we, the Chicanos, doing? We're like, no, that's not going to happen. You know, we gotta defend what has been ours for a long time. And so they want to go down there and just take this park apart, right? So let's go and find out how Chicano Park looks like today. Now that we know a little history on Chicano Park, let me bring out for you can see what I'm talking about, girls at Chicano Park, okay? So you guys can see what I'm talking about. So stand by. Isupk is the damn devil. You know it, sis. You know it. And brothers, you all know it. Brothers and sisters, you all know that Isupk is the devil the Bible speaks of. You know, and that's why. So, the murals and what this park, Logan Park or Chicano Park. So bear with me for to bring up and get an idea. Okay, so let's see some of the murals in place. Okay, you know, Chicano, you know, we hold it as you know, you can see those images. Those are all Aztec murals. There's an Aztec with this. Let's bring up. That's the Mexica eagle. This is see how beautiful it is. There's nothing wrong with this. There's no need for change. Fine, look at it. Let's go. Now, Isupk, right? from the tribe of Issachar, and that I'm a Hebrew Israelite, correct? But, for my people that are still culturally, misled, well, this is our heritage, and including mine. This is my heritage. These are my Aztec people, right? This is what they look like right here. This is the park. These are all images of the park. You can see here. This is a beautiful park, man. Of our the spiritual father of the Chicano, right? See, right? And I'm just bringing out different music, right? Evolution, right? This is where we gather for the Aztec dances. You see that? These are Aztec here, dressed in Aztec gear. See? Barrio keys, no, right? And I'm just going through pictures. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, right? The lowriders, right? Our heritage here in the lowrider right here, that was us right there, kind of stuff that Latinos do, that's our heritage right there. See what it's like at Chicano, this is the Cali style. This is what we do here. This is our heritage. And mural are nothing. 1800s who have pictured the revolution, who have drawn the revolution, who have drawn the destruction of the Aztecs, of the Mayas. They've drawn all this, and our heritage is when you see these kind of things, you think, oh, these are Mexicans who draw on walls. I'll let you know that this is heritage that comes from a long, and unfortunately, this is what we draw, right? The Virgin Mary, but this is confusion right here. We know that. That's confusion. We should not be worshiping any Yahweh. And this guy is to an end and destroy, bring it. These people racist, So what it's like, but this is what another one, right? Not only for Chicanos, look. This is a place. Look at this right here. Chile. You don't know the story of the Chileños. Allende was a revolutionist for the people of Chile, and the people of Chile were being murdered by Pinochet, which was the government that the Americans implemented. The leader, the president that the Americans power in a long time ago. And if you want to know who the of course, the people of Chile are our brothers. They're this is a very important. See this? These are the during the time of the Chile uprising. People had to go out in the streets and protest because their children, their husbands, their wives were disappearing because of what was going on in Chile. From 1979 to 1970 to 1989. It was an injustice that was happening. People were disappearing. Leaving that behind. They've been trying to erase history, but our muralists, our people, have saved the history by painting it on murals that tell us our history. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that we've seen throughout all Shabbat Gabar, you know, it's true. Down that a long time. This is nothing new. They've been trying to destroy the park there for me to see, right? This right here, look. This is, we need to see Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and blacks as one. This is what's going to make the change for our people. Esto es lo que va a hacer un cambio para nuestra. Aquí están los argentinos, cubanos, salvadoreños, mexicanos. You know, this is what our people need to do, to come together como unas personas, como una sola meta para la nation. And if we don't, a whole problem with you know what I mean? And so what we're seeing here is how Chicano Park brings the Mexicans together. You know, we have our culture, we have our way of life, you know, but for some reason, this white man, Roger Ogden, to come against us and come against our culture and destroy what we know as Chicano Park. Well, you know what? The ISUPK and all of us are going to be there because we're not going to allow this to happen. Our culture must remain, our people must, and the voice must be lifted up, and we must let everybody know that, you know, the ISUPK is not going to go unheard. That's why I'm here for. That's what we're here for. We're all here to bring a voice and to let people know that, you know, real important we speak on these subjects. So let me get back on here. So this is what's happening in, and it's important that we that we come together, because, you know, like the Bible says, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 30, it says Judah and Israel, am I right? Israel were oppressed together. Of course, we're oppressed together. The black fight from Brooklyn, from Queens, New York, from areas like that, they're being pushed out. There's we're in England, brothers in England are now being joining white people. Here in East LA, also, they're bringing in the Chinese and the white people, and they're pushing us out. Ya basta de esto, esto no puede seguir igual. A nuestra gente nos la están puchando para fuera de estas áreas, están gentrificando nuestras áreas en Inglaterra, gentrificando en Nueva York, en las áreas de Queens, New York, en Brooklyn, New York, aquí en Los Ángeles. Lo mismo estamos viendo, que puchan a nuestra gente para afuera, están metiendo a su gente que nosotros vamos a sobrevivir de nosotros, y nos están puchando para afuera. Pero ya basta esto. Nosotros tenemos que alzar la voz, no nomás a nuestros familia, nosotros, ¿verdad? With our people in Chicano Park. And I was mentioning being in there, and they're trying to get us to get out of the park, but that's not going to happen. Roger Ogden is going to find out that Chicanos are not going to sit down and just take to do out there and raise a voice. We have to raise a voice, because if we don't raise a voice now, we're going to be caught up losing our properties, losing our homes, losing our businesses. And what's going to happen? The white man don't care. To him, it's just a game. So let me tell you something. Roger Ogden, the former president, Gannett Broadcasting was a huge corporation that did a broadcasting for a lot of companies, right? He's now the vice president or senior vice president of broadcasting. Why do they bring themselves down? Very simple, because they know that what they're doing is hostile against the Mexican people, and we're not going to have it. And let me tell you what's happening here. That Roger Ogden, right? He has his backing, and his backing is of San Diego. What's going to happen there, or when our Chicano to protest against this? Well, guess who's going to be there behind Roger Ogden? You got it. The police department is going to be down there helping Roger movement. That's ridiculous, correct? That's what's going to happen. Roger Ogden's going to go down there, and police is helping him to community. Part of him for all Chicanos and for all Mexicanos. We had Jose Clemente Orozco, we had Diego Rivera, we had Siqueiros, famous in the world of murals like Isupk. We are the greatest muralists probably on this earth. We had a history of murals throughout all of the 1900s. So let me go on to this. Roger Ogden. I want to bring this up. And I'm going to show you some pictures of what this guy did at the last rally they had down there. Okay, because this is ridiculous. I mean, these people go down there, and I'm going to bring up some pictures because today is picture day. Okay, so let's see what's going on here, kids. Right here we go. This is Roger. And this is his people backing them. These guys that you Ogden's people here, right? Right there behind, you know, watching out for Roger Ogden, goes down Chicano Park. And look at the white police force. Right? And look, we got some blacks, we got Hispanics here, we got everybody going down there to try to save this park. So that's right. They exactly Shaquad Gabar, you absolutely right. And I have heard about that 5 points in New York. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And you know what? If we take them for, we don't really pay attention, but a mural is a story. It's a story of our people. A story that around. We'll call it graffiti. You want to call it, correct? But it is what it is. They are a storytelling. These are the Chicanos who went down there to protest against Roger Ogden's tense protest in Chicano Park. This was here we got the brown going down there to support, going down there to help the community, because what Roger Ogden is doing is out of nowhere, he's just and the park back. The park was never hit, and as I was showing, and what they're doing, Roger Ogden to go protest and go against the Chicano community that's down there, and it's ridiculous because you know, what's going on there, right? This is going on all the time where these people think they can own. Here's the police department right there. Chicano, Latino America, you know, we are sticks, man. We are blood. We are that blood down. Our ancestor Tola was a mighty warrior, son of Issachar, right? As told in the Bible. And let me tell you something. He did not stand down for anything, right? We're there too. Look at, these are all the white cops who go down there, you know, to help, you know, supposedly to break up a peace, what they call pro-white people. They're not going down there for peaceful protests. And they know why they're going down there. They're going down there to disrupt. They're going down there to instigate. They're going down there to cause problems against who? Against Chicanos that have been there since the turn of the century, since the 1800s, right? That's what they go. And look, these bastards are going down there to do that. And look, and let me show you another one. They go down there and do as they want. There it is. There it is. And I want you guys to I plan to take these to go out there and doc can be down there. We're east there, but we're gonna spread the word that the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native Indian, that we should all unite as one under one flag, the flag of Israel, and that we are those being persecuted by people like Roger Ogden, right? And this is what it is. I'm glad that y'all took a minute and you see what was happening here, you know, and you see that one place for like let them ride over us, you know what I mean? And have, like I said, all the blacks, the Hispanics, the Indians, we're all going through this. You know, the Native Indian, he was taking off his territory too, and that's what they're trying to do. Blacks, right? Jeremiah 15:30. Judah and Israel were oppressed together. And what is oppression? When things like that happen to us. That's what oppression is. That right there is exactly what oppression is. And let me tell you something. What we see there, that's Gestapo. That's Gestapo movement right there. That's what they do, man. That's the way they go out there and train the police department to go up against us. If you don't know the history of Latin America, en Latin America, toda Latinoamérica, nosotros hemos sufrido por lo mismo, porque ellos han traído a su gobierno, han traído a su ejército, a sus policías, que han llegado a toda Latinoamérica y han perseguido a nuestra propia gente. Lo que se llama la Escuela de las Américas fue fundado en Panamá, ¿verdad? En Nicaragua, en esas áreas donde Estados Unidos entrenó a nuestra propia gente cómo oprimirnos a nosotros. Les son de gente pagada, gente vendida, que van a nuestros países y por sus propios bien puestos van allí y hacen con la gente lo que quieren, ¿verdad? Y es una cosa que es se voltea contra nosotros. En Baja California, ¿verdad? Ahorita está un problema, and this is going out for all my people, for you to know that Baja right now has a problem, move into our territory and take the water that's there and use it to brew beer. But what's happening there is shameful, you know. Es una cosa de dar tristeza que le estén haciendo eso a nuestra gente. No puede ser que nuestra gente nomás vayan y se atropellen sobre todo lo que está pasando, ¿verdad? Vamos a ver. Ahorita, a ver, eso es lo que está pasando ahorita en Mexicali, ¿verdad? It's a battle over U.S. brewery in Mexicali, and let me show you what it is, right? Okay. And just for you can see, once again, for you tuning in, man, you're on the right day. Here we go. Look at this. What does that say? Let me come back here. Resume. Salaki, everybody. Here we go, right? Look at a battle over a U.S. brewery in Mexicali. And let me tell you, I'm about to bring up some pictures that when you see this, it's shameful that these people would even do that to my country. You know what I mean? And let's go into the image. You don't have to go far. The right here on our own people. You know what I mean? And it's shameful that this would be what I mean. Okay, protesting. Look, no a la ley del agua. What they got, these signs are saying is no for the laws against water. You know why? Because the United States is planning to bring a brewery company right here. Look at this. No a la privatización del agua. No to the privatization of water. And this right here is the border of Tijuana and Mexicali. And these go out there and protest. Entonces, para la gente de Latinoamérica, aquí en el ISUPK, nosotros sabemos lo que está pasando. Here in ISUPK, we know what's going on. Y sabemos que nuestra gente que está viviendo en Tijuana, en Mexicali y en estas áreas, están ahorita combateando lo que está pasando con lo que está pasando con el agua, ¿verdad? Esta gente está entrando y están tomando nuestra agua, nuestros recursos naturales, usando para su propio bien. Entonces nosotros aquí en el de lo que está México ahorita con Tijuana y con todas estas, no nomás nos vamos a quedar, vamos a dejar, ¿verdad? And look at this right here. What you're looking at here is a little town in Mexico. I'm watching this footage of the protest. They're being hired to go doing this, the corporate money to the police to oppress their own people. It's and is together, and this is what's happening to our people right here. You know, look at that. This is the truth. This is not something we can make up. What's happening? These are people on. This now on our borders. Video phone by one of my people in Mexicali. See, this lady. She's I remember hearing that she was the land that this here, which is digging for the water. It just came one day and just started digging up. You know, and what showed up the next day? The police department, when the whole town got together and started one thing, we're not going to take it sitting down. Man, peasant people of all classes, and you know what they're doing to combat this? This is right. This is going to get my people, everybody. They're using shovel and throwing dirt on them to get them to leave their area. You know what I mean? So Mexicans, man, they ain't playing, man. They're serious. They're serious, man. And you know, this is not a fun. This is not something that we should take as a joke, because I post social media. This is what I'm talking about right here. Does not. You do not see this on any Mexican channel. You do not see Mexican channel. You will not see this. And this happened a day ago, 2 days ago, right? Look at what it says here. Ni por cerveza, not even for beer will we change our water. And why? Because people need the water in these areas, you know, to grow their food, to farm. This is what they need to do. It's called Constellation brand, and this one is moving to Cali, right? But it's an American company. And this is the brand that was bought out. Unfortunately, some of my favorite. I mean, these are some of the beers I'm not gonna be. Yeah, those say he's not on there. Hell yeah! So there's some of the beginning just to not into the ISU. Step one, step two, we're gonna help our people by, you know what, protesting, by not buying these brands, or not joining with these people. You know what I'm saying? These are our people. This is my uncle. This is my father. These are my brothers. These are my sisters. These are my families that are out there, and they're going through this. You know what I mean? So what do we have to do? We have to support. How do we come into this truth that's gonna bring our people together? Here's the digging machine, you know, protesting. And I'm talking about in the 1800s, had a company in the 1800s, the United States, found in what's known as right, a school. It's called the School of the Americas, right? This is an American institution called the School. Police, you know, mind games. What they did is they told these people, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna train you to oppress your own people. They used a group of people called Ladina, D-I-N-A, oppressed the people of Chile during these, all the way to the 1989, during the reign of Pinochet. They used these same soldiers, these same police officers, to go into these areas. These people, people from Chile, and then they used these same soldiers, these same police officers. They used them in Mexico during the 1960s. You know what I mean? They used the same people to oppress these people. Man, I don't know who owns these brands, but I'm pretty sure that by looking at Modelo and Pacifico and Corona, you already know that company, like what I do, you know, people in Mexico and get free information to what's going on. You want to know who Constellation Brands is? Very simple. Just punch it in and find out who owns Constellation. And you know that those are the people that are oppressing the people in Tijuana, the people in Mexicali, and other states that are now doing the same thing, that are bringing that up. You know what I'm saying? It's something that we all need to do. And in the ISUPK, we take that responsibility to do research. You know, we take on. Read the Bible, you know, study, get acquainted with what we got to talk about, and research all that's happening, because it's happening to the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native Indian. I come on here and I talk about, you know, North Dakota. I've spoken about, and about the pipeline through there. You know, I talk about, you know, the Bronx, about Brixton in England, and how they're gentrifying that. I talk about here in the Boyle Heights, East LA, how they gentrify our areas here. I'm talking about Mexicali and Tijuana, how they're going in there right now and taking the water to build this concept. They're making new beer. What do they need new beer for? They do it to take the water, the natural, from our own people. You know what I mean? And how do they entertain us? Football games. How do they entertain us? Baseball games. They entertain us with garbage. and we're so attent to watching their nonsense that we forget what's really important. So, you know, and what's the games for? The games are for nothing. All the stadiums are built on land that was taken from us. You know, if you're a 49er fan, right? San Francisco 49er fan. I know some of my in-laws, man, they're hardcore 49er fans. To them, wearing a red and a white 49er is like, to them, oh, they go out and buy a 150, like not knowing that the world that came from right? From New York and those areas, and they all, and what they do, they hung the Mexicans in order to take the land from them. The 49ers are all those gold for pennies, for free, by murdering my own people and taking, what was the five, could go in $5 and take that land as property of his own when they were giving back Indian territory. And who were the first people that gave the Indian territory to? All white people for $5. Entonces, de eso es lo que estamos hablando, ¿verdad? Sin importancia. En Juana le están quitando el agua a las personas y por hacer una cervecería quieren quitarle las propiedades a nuestra propia gente. Es un clase de persona esa. ¿Qué clase de policía o allí premiera a esta gente? Esta gente es tu sangre. Esta gente que tiene la cerveza no son tu sangre. Ellos son la gente de otros países que quieren tener beneficio de tu propia herencia, que es tu tierra. ¿Por qué no mejor nosotros hacemos nuestras propias cervecerías y tenemos control de agua, recursos naturales? ¿Qué es la importancia de darle todo nuestro país a otra gente? Es una tristeza eso. ¿Cuándo va a despertar México a saber que el país de México puede ser un país más grande que los Estados Unidos, en economía, en raíces, en cultura, en todo lo que tiene México? ¿Y por qué es que nosotros nos estamos quedando atrás? Porque nos hemos el mismo viendo a esta gente. Así como se venden los políticos, la policía igualmente. And what I'm saying to my people is that very simple. When the police department is selling out into our country, correct? Foreigners to America, and our country is not great, and many because the president doesn't care about the country. Well, us as individuals, we don't care about our country either. When we turn what's happening, when we turn a blind eye to the truth and we cannot speak up, then all us ourselves are guilty of the politicians. What is that? Or about our pride. That's why, because here you're going to learn what it is to be a person of recognizing who you are, where you came from, of being able to raise your voice against all this nonsense going on. Exactly, Ayar. They train their troops, they pay these troops, right? And they go to the jungle and force them, and they kill without conscience, right? And that's what's happening in Mexico. That's what's happening all across. And who's taking this? The black, the Hispanic, and the Indian. We're the ones that are falling behind, because Hosea 4:6 tell us, what does it tell us? My people perish for the lack of knowledge, because we refuse to understand that the Lord has law, statutes, and commandments that we need to keep. And as long as we don't keep those law, statutes, and commandments, we're alive. because we have no control of what we do. We will do what other nations tell us to do, correct? That's exactly what happened. Come back into our culture, come back into our law, statutes, and commandments. Now, I'm going to go into something. I wanted to bring that out because, you know, this weekend is an important day. I hope you guys tune in to my Facebook. I'm going to be out there, man. I'm going to see what it's all about, you know, but some truth about our nation, right? Our Mayan culture, right? And I had this here today, it out, right? So I have this book here. I always like to do the reading, right? This Discovery of Ancient America, right? If you can see that book, Discovery of Ancient America. And in this book, I found some real interesting topics that I wanted to bring out. They're not on it. I always say the people who studied what they consider the Hebrew, that Assyrian Hebrew, but we know that the Paleo Hebrew. And how do we know that? Because of our ancestors Hebrew, right? Our ancestors, which similar to that is known as Hebrew today, right? And in this book, that there's a lot of that here. Let me show you here, right? And I'm gonna bring it out real quick. Let me bring out this page. So let me bring it out here. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna find that page. Okay, here we go. So let me just best as I can. Okay. So this here is, you can see, I'm gonna leave it there for a second. Right? An ancient a stone found here in North America, and it's one of the old stone here is written in the Paleo Hebrew, right? And this is Arizona, correct? Then this is Mexican writing, Yaqui Indian, because they were the ones on this land. And as you can see, this you can, if you take whatever, a lot of those you see there are ancient writings known as Paleo Hebrew, right? And it's known as the inscription rock or the mystery rock, right? And it's hidden in the summit mountain, right? Oh, here we go. This is the guy who wrote it, right? There you go. Now you can see it a lot better. That's what's written on that rock right there. Can you see that? Okay, I'm gonna put it right here. That's what's written on that rock right there. That is what it is that you can see when you read that rock. That inscription right there. These are the Hebrew letters, right? Syria that they tell you that that they find, right? What I'm going to bring out is letters, and these words. See what the Mayans wrote, right? So there's a book in the Mayan in Mayan history. It's called the Popol Vuh. It's a very important book for the Mayas. El libro del Popol Vuh es un libro muy importante, ¿verdad? Lo que es Mesoamérica, lo que es los aztecas, los chichimecas, todos ellos. Esta gente usaba el libro del Popol Vuh porque es uno de los libros más viejos de Latinoamérica. Este libro tiene la historia del comienzo de lo que ellos comenzaban, lo que ellos decían que era el comienzo del. Entonces, so on this book here, right? Ancient America talks about, right? And it says like, vamos a lo que dice este libro, de lo que es la historia en el libro Popol Vuh, because one of the things that I ran across think that us Hebrew Israelites, or the Hebrew Israelites, that we're confused, that the Bible has nothing to do with us, and they go in their history of that Israelites have the truth, And this is where I'm going to bring it out, because this is something that's not brought out a lot. I'm bringing out not from the Bible, but correct. But I'm going to bring out their own history out of the Popol Vuh of history for them. This is their Bible, right? So it says the Genesis account also states that the earth was covered with water before the existence of man. Sounds like the Bible, right? The book of Genesis. And it says before dry land appeared, and that the waters were separated, both vertical and horizontal divisions are mentioned. And where do we see this? This is in the book of Genesis, chapter 1. This is where you can find that. Okay, it says that chapter 1, 9 through 10 is darkness was upon the face of the deep. So what was that? In the Bible, our Bible, the one we read, the King James Version, in the chapters 1, 6 through 8, creation story. Earth was what I'm reading from. Genesis 1 and 2. You're going to go in the book of the Maya, which is known as the Popol Vuh, okay? And we're going to see one of the oldest books in Mexico. I mean, this is legit. You're not going to get any in the Popol Vuh. Maya. So let me go into the book of the Maya, and we're going to relate how the Bible knew that they were the Israelites, and how they knew their creator was the same creator that the Israelites had, okay? And now I'm going to read out of the book of the Popol Vuh, and it goes like this. The Maya have a creation story, which as having existed before man, Genesis, but it is covered with water. 1:8. Water world, later a subsequent flood that destroys the first world of men. So the book of the Popol Vuh tells the story of creation, and it also tells the story of a flood that destroyed man. Man, I'm not making this stuff up. This is out of the Popol Vuh. And this is what it says in the book of the Popol Vuh. I'm going to read straight from it, okay? Before the world was created, is written in Czech. People from what? The people, Mexicans. Now, all of this is related because we all spoke a derivative of Hebrew. Todos hablábamos lo que es el hebreo. El libro del Popol Vuh no está escrito en inglés ni está escrito en español, está escrito en la lengua del quiché, que es la lengua de la raza de los hondureños, de los guatemaltecos, de los salvadoreños, el pipil, el huipil, lo que hablan ellos, pero todos ellos eran, claro, descendientes ¿de quién? De los israelitas. Seguimos en la historia. With the great, right, common side of the Genesis, there was nothing. Once again, the book of Genesis, right? Things had not yet been drawn together. The face of the earth was emptiness of animals. No birds or fish, no crabs, trees, stones, grass, forest, none existed yet. There was nothing that could tremble or only the sea, alone and breathless. It was night. Silence stood in the dark. That's the pages of the Popol Vuh, relating the same story as what we call the book of Genesis, right? So let's go on. I'm going to find another one. So let's go on. I'm going to go to the next one. So let me read another page of the So what we're that story that's in the Popol Vuh story that you find in the Bible. Encuentras tú en la misma historia que tú en el Popol Vuh. Entonces, para esas personas que piensan que nosotros los mexicanos, los centroamericanos, todos los latinoamericanos, no tenemos nada que probar, que todos nosotros somos de la misma raza y que los israelíes llegaron aquí a América y ellos fueron los que edificaron lo que nosotros conocemos hoy de los mayas, de los aztecas y todos ellos, ¿verdad? Entonces vamos a seguir. And so here we're going to go into another story, right? And this is the story of a mixed multitude, right? And here we go. And it says Israel and the mixed multitude, 13 tribes in total, left Egypt in turmoil and departed into the desert. Then, according to Exodus, turned and went south by the way of the Red Sea. Of course, the first portion of the Red Sea that would encounter would have been the arm of the Red Sea, known as the Gulf of Suez. They became trapped between the sea and their left-hand mountain and the right. Okay, I see what's going on. I'm reading out of the book of Josephus. This is a book, and I'm not going to read out of the Popol Vuh because Josephus tells also, but I want to focus on the Popol Vuh so I don't mix people up. So let me go into the Popol Vuh. Right into the Popol Vuh because I don't want to mix things up. And let me find the next one. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's another one, right? Here we go, another one. So let me bring this one out. And the reason I stopped is because that's the book of Josephus. I want to go straight into Popol Vuh. So this is called the title of Coyoy, which is the título de Coyoy. So this is another page out of the book of the Popol Vuh. And this one's called the title of Coyoy. And it's about the Mayan forefathers and where they came from. Okay, so this is in the Mayan language, right? And it says like this, the Mayan forefathers, to be a beloved people, right? Didn't Christ call us beloved, right? The beloved people who after their wanderings or after their travels arrived at Jobalam, Canaan. So once again, Jobalam, Canaan. This is in Quiche. This is not in Hebrew, right? It says they stayed there a while. It says that they from Canaan. What is Canaan? Is also in Hebrew Canaan, right? They called it Canaan, but if you speak Spanish, Canaan is Canaan, is Canaan. That's where that's coming from. So the ancient Maya knew that their forefathers came from the land of Canaan, Canaan, right? Which is in the Hebrew known as Canaan. And they also mentioned they arrived at Balaam. What is Balaam? Balaam is a lord, or Balaam, right? That we understand as Balaam. They understood as Balaam. So those are two points that the book of the Mayan history talks about that is also relevant to the Bible, because it's telling you where they came from and some of the gods that they worship. What God was they worship? They were worshiping the god of Balaam, which is the god of our ancient ancestors, right? Reading, right? What I'm reading is out of the book of the ancient Maya, the Popol Vuh, and I'm showing how the Indian, Mayan, Aztec, the Mayan people, the Mayan tribes, in their oldest, this is the oldest book in Mexico, known as the Popol Vuh. This book still exists today. They have copies of it. It's one of the oldest books because the Mayans wrote this book. The ancient Mayans wrote this book, and I'm translating how they related a lot of right? So I'm gonna find another story, because I know there's a story of when they crossed the Red Sea, story of their crossing. So we know that Canaan is Canaan, right? So let me find it. Okay, here we go. Story, and for those people who think that the Bible is just some book, you know, some book that was put together from stories or something, I'm proving to you how the Mayan people already knew about the Bible, and now their stories in their book called the Popol Vuh are directly related to the stories in the Bible. And so what I'm going to go into right now is I'm going to speak about the time of their departure from the land that they were coming. And they said they come from the land of the east where the sun had risen, right? So here we go. The next week sequence I'm gonna read is about the Mayans. Okay, so here we go. It says describing the plague. Oh, I'm sorry. They speak of a time when there were 13 groups or 13 tribes, right? They stated that at that point, their departure, the sea divided for them, and that their fathers passed through the crossing sea. Okay, so let's find out what the sea was. It says this is the story on the Popol Vuh, and it reads like this: for this reason, stones in a row, sand under the sea, named when the tribes crossed the water when they passed. That's the story, and the tribes of Israel coming out of each story that's written in the Popol Vuh, and it's called the parting of the sea. And it says that they crossed under the sea, names given to them when that the waters having parted, is that the ancient Mayans are talking about the parting of the sea in the east, correct? So this is something the Mayans knew about. They knew that Moses had parted the sea, and that he had bring his people across the sea while he parted, right? And so this is a story out of the Popol Vuh. Okay, so let me find another one, and I'm going through the whole different stories of the Popol Vuh because, like I said before, one of the problems that we have is that a lot of Chicanos don't believe that the Israelites and that the Mexican people have anything in common, and we're proving here that even in the book of the Popol Vuh, you know, they have sequences in their book, right? That prove that this is true. Bring out a lot of the names that are in the ancient Mayan, in their ancient Mayan traditions, or the Mayan names are names that are Hebrew names, and they're ancient, what is that? Ancient Paleo Hebrew. So the name of the god or their leader, right? For the Mayans, they call them a god because what is a god? A power. The word God doesn't mean, you know, like the God in the sky. The word God means power. That's all it means. Bill, and it says in God we what power do you trust in? The United States. The power of the people creating these bills. That's who has power. That's the only power that's there. What power is behind the dollar bill? $400 bill would be useless. There'd be no power to it. That's why the name God simply means power. The name of our Lord is a whole different name. He has his name. Like my name is Kazak Yad. That name has a power. It has a meaning to it, which means strong hands. But God, it just means that. It means power. So of the name, that was Mayas or the leader. And Kukulkan, it's in the Hebrew, translated in Hebrew, means lawgiver, right? So who was the lawgiver? Who is this person that they're talking about that they bring them across the sea, on the rocks, and parted the sea? Who is this lawgiver they're talking about? I'll tell you who the lawgiver is. The lawgiver is Moses. That's who the lawgiver is. Who was Moses? Moses was the man who gave the laws to Israel. He went up on the mountain of Sinai, and the Lord gave him the 10 commandments and gave him all the commandments to give to his people. That's why he was the lawgiver. Moses was the lawgiver. The word Kukulkan, that's what that means, lawgiver. He's the man who bring these people across these rocks and bring his people through. The Mayan and wrote in the book of the Popol Vuh who this man was, Kukulkan. In the Hebrew, lawgiver. So if you're Chicano and you think that this is not true, that Chicanos are not a part of the Bible, man, it's funny how they want to deny Israelite Virgin Mary on a wall. The image of, you know what I'm saying? Nothing with Chicano culture, nothing to do with Aztec culture, nothing to do with the Mexican culture. The Virgin of Guadalupe, the river of Guadalupe in Spain, given to some man, right, Marco Isupk, who was the artist who drew this. This image appeared in the, I believe it was in the 1300s in Spain. I'm trying to Medellin, Spain. That's where it came from, Medellin, Spain. And this image was miraculously, supposedly, this miraculously painting in right to a what do they call him? Man, a priest. It was told to a priest in secret that, oh, you know, go to this cave, find him, and he went there and bring out the painting. It's an interesting story that you find out. Image did not miraculously appear to no Indian in the temple of Tepeyac, the way that most Chicano and Mexicans think that by these is because you don't do no research. The Catholic Church tells you, and the Christian and Catholic Church have nothing to do with our people of Israel. On the contrary, they're the ones who have been keeping our secret, suppressing us from our truth, and suppressing us from our true meaning in the Bible of who we are and where we came from. You know, so most of these people who are Chicanos and Mexicanos, who and they're like, oh, this guy's crazy. The reality ones that are really crazy. And that's right, IR. We are the Jews that are in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? We are those Mexicans. We are those people. And like, and who was the son of Issachar? Who is the city of Tola after this person, Tola? Who are the Toltecas named after? The same person, Tola. Next name of Tola for the Toltecas. These are all the same people. These are the cities named after their great ancestor, that he was a mighty man warrior. That's where they get this name on. I'm gonna bring because I wanna be able to, you know, is another people that we seem to be forgetting. And so let me another one, because I want to the story of the Mayan book, the Popol Vuh, right? The land of Canaan. You know, I spoke about that. Let me see the. Let me see, where is this at? Let me bring this out right now. And so I'm looking one more time, one more that I will, because there's a, if you have this book, Great book to pick up. Get it online. Discovery of America. It's a great book to have. You're going to learn a lot out of it. You know what I mean? I've been able to bring out a lot of good information. Root words are important because, all of us, history is derived by root words. They've been lost in the education system. Root words are super important in everything we do. America is the root word. You're American, but you're not American. You call yourself an American, but Amerigo Vespucci was the guy. America is Anglo-American, yet they call themselves American. Why? Because translate the school system. You have forgotten what your real heritage is, and you're going with whatever it is that you. And that's the problem with people today, right? And to tell you who we are and where we came from and what it is that we're here to bring out, because we are the mighty ones. We are those people. We are the descendants of mighty people, mighty warriors. Why we bring this out, right? Once again, because a lot of the Mayan words are words that are coming from, like I said, the ancient Hebrew, right? And I got this one right. I'm going to show you this this image right here. I have it right here. The one where it is that we're getting this information from, okay? And okay, here we go. So this is what it's like, right? I'm going to show it here first. These are the translations that have happened throughout the time of history. Bring it here, right? And as you can see, this is the Paleo-Hebrew, the first one, right? Aramaic, or whatever you want to call it. The Roman, what it turned into Roman, and then what it turned into English, right? That's how it's going right there. See the M, the N, right? The A, right? And if you understand everything we do, translation from Hebrew. Even us in our language, in the Spanish language, a lot of the words we use today are still Nahuatl, but even though they're Nahuatl, they're still Hebrew. They're still a derivative of the Hebrew language. When you say mama, Abba, these are words that we still, we use, the Mexican people use apa, right? Abba, Abba. Abba in the Hebrew Paleo is father. Apa in the Mexican language, well, that's what we call our fathers too, right? So we keep the pronunciations or the same translation of the getting that we've been that and they're teaching us how to forget what's going on in our history by something that's not, for years. How many from America? You know what I'm saying, Jonathan? How many people thought, oh, these guys they never discovered Christopher Columbus discovered. I'm saying, no, that was the truth. You know what I'm saying? That people, begin to realize that that we are from our heritage. We need to remember what's happening with us, because as you saw today, some of the stories that I brought up about the park, Chicano Park and all this. This is our heritage. The Popol Vuh. This is our heritage. You know what I'm saying? And heritage just slipped through our fingers. You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna let that go through now? We've been punished. The Book of Deuteronomy, all of the pages of Book 28 tells all the stories of why we're being punished. The what we call what is it, the curses that were brought on to Israel. Why these curses? Because we've chosen to follow the way of our oppressor and have forgotten the way of our Father, the Lord, the Yahweh. We have forgotten how to follow the Lord and do the commandments. Stay away from pork. Stay away from being wicked with women. Stay away from drugs. You know what I mean? And the reality is, going in and connecting with other nations that we should not be part of. The reason that situation that we're in today, is because we chose to follow a nation that lied, deceived, destroyed, murdered, raped, and did all this to us. And yet, you know what? We're in this. We still have not been able to wake up to the reality of who we are. And what's going on in my country today is because of that problem. Because the politicians, the governments, the police departments, and all these people continually sell out to nations that are not of our people. They will take care of first another nation than to take care of their own people. And that's the reason why we're in the situation that we're in, And until that time, when we decide to really come together and wake up to the reality of who we are, that's when we'll begin to once again realize that it's time to wake up and it's time to cling on to the lost statutes, because the time is short, And when time is short, I mean, we live in negative way, continually, just a negative way. We've seen that they have these that's the deprivation of man right there. You know what I'm saying? Homosexuality is growing rampant. It's becoming the norm. Like, you can't say nothing, because if you say something, you become, homophobic. These are the kind of things that we have to keep an eye on out, because it says that there'll be times that are begin to start happening. They said that there'll be a nation against nation. That nation against nation is very simple. It's not blacks against Mexicans, against these, against that. No, because Israel is one nation, right? So what is that prediction that the Bible is giving us? When a nation is coming up against a nation, it's very simple. The nation that it's talking about is when the nation of Israel is going to be persecuted by other nations. That's the nation against nation. Our people are already, that's already happening to our people, both in our country, in Mexico, and here in the United States, Salakia, and here in the United States, right? And that's in Bible, written in the Bible, that nation is going to come against us. Want to look, tell us that for nation shall rise against nation. Things that we see, nations coming up against nations, right? Kingdom of wealth in there. These are two separations that are being made here. What is a nation and what is it? A kingdom is, Russia is a kingdom, and America is another kingdom, and China's another kingdom, and England's another kingdom. But what's a nation? What is Israel is a nation. That Israel is a nation. And so what nation's coming up against us? Well, it seems like all nations are coming up against us. They're taking us down. They're murdering our people. They're taking our properties. They're pushing us out. This is the nation that's coming up against us. And let me tell you something. This has happened before, but not to the extreme that it's happening today, right? Famines, of course, and pestilences and earthquakes. We see that already. We see that, man, there's earth in places that you're like, what? An earthquake where? That you've never even heard of that was going to happen. You know what I mean? But even though this is things that are happening in our time, and when this starts happening, that's the time we need to start looking out for. The time is coming, and it's no joke. This that's happening is things that we should know to look out for, because these are the pains that the Bible talks about. And we here at the Isupk, man, we're going to talk about it all the time, because we want to prepare our people. Let me tell you something, all right? There's an era that to raise people to warn the world. It has happened throughout the whole Bible. Noah was one of those chosen people. He chose Noah and his lineage to warn the people of what was going to happen. There's a time right there. Jesus came, same thing with Jesus. He chose Jesus to go and tell the people and his apostles, hey, something's going to happen. It's time. And then he's going to once again wake up his people to warn the world of what's about to happen. And when he says he's going to wake up his people are the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. His people are and the Bible tells us that we were going to be that our name was going to be lost. We were not going to be a nation no more. That we were going to be lost in time. It's dry bones, most important precepts in the Bible, because the valley of a dry bone is I'm going to bring it out how we can this prediction of the valley of dry bones, and what it is, it's Ezekiel chapter 37, and it's 1 through 14, right? And the Lord, see upon these bones, right? The prophecy of the valley of dry bones. And let's go on to that. To me, son of man, right? Son of man, live. And I answered, thou knowest, right? So he live, man. Can gang members? Can Mexicans stop being gang members? Can Mexicans stop being Catholic? Stop being Black? Stop being Baptist? From the islands of, can they stop? Witch doctors, right? Don't they have one of stop being in that religion? Can we stop being those people? Can these bones, my bones, prophesy upon these bones? O ye dry bone, word of the Lord. Thus said the Lord God unto these bones. That's what he said. He said unto these bones. And I say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord, right? And the Lord the Lord said unto these dry bones, behold, I cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. What is that breath? The breath is the truth. This is the breath. The breath is what's today. The truth that's being given out by the Isupk. Before 1969, there was no truth. Everybody was confused who was what, who was Israel, who wasn't Israel, with the Mexican Israelites, with the who was who was. Some people, but no one had the truth. Now he's been breathed nothing but truth. And he says, we were those dry bones. We were those people that walked and we were dead. We didn't know what was going on. We thought we were something that we weren't. And it continues to say, so I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up, and the skin covered them above, and there was no breath in them. But there was no breath in them. Then said the Lord unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and unto these slain. We're the slain. In decades of not knowing who we are, where we came from, or what culture we really were. We were taking the culture of someone else and coming out and saying that we were them, right? And it says, and then he said unto me, son of man, these how are the Israelites lost? What hope is lost? The black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Hope is lost to these people today. Am I lying? Are the Native Indians lost today? Are they lost in these reservations? Are they lost not being able to proclaim their land? How about the Mexican? Are we lost? Are we being sent to a country raged in war? A war that America started within our own Latin American countries, that we cannot go back there because we're lost? How about the black man? He's living in a country that he was brought as a slave, and that posting of a lady going into Walmart, and they have all the black people's hair product locked up in glass shelves, while all the other products are free for anybody to pick up. That's the way they treat black people. They're lost. They don't even know where they're at. They can't go out because they'll be pulled over by police, harassed, or maybe even killed. We are the lost people. Am I right or am I wrong? This says we are cut off of our parts. What parts? Our own parts. We're good for nothing. We go out in the field and work, and what we get paid pennies for our work. We support a whole nation by bringing in the fruit and the vegetables that you eat, the berries that you eat, and yet we're the worst in the nation. We're what are we, murderers? What are we, terrorists? Isn't that what they call us? They're trying to send us back to our country, they say. How about the black man? Go back to Africa. And what about the Native Indian? Oh, you don't belong on this territory? We are those people. I go on to verse 12. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, said the Lord, behold, O my people, that's us, I will open your graves. We're dead right now. He's going to open us and cause you to come out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. And that's where we're going to. We're going into the land of Israel. We will once again wake up from this sleep that we're in. And once again, we will become those people. We will know who we are. We will know where we came from. And we will know what our heritage is. That's why it's important for us to join the ISUPK and uphold this truth, right? And like that, there's many verses that warn us that it's time for us to wake up, right? One of the prophecies that's in the Bible is that in the end times, Israel will wake up and we will know who we are. And once again, Israel will become a nation. This is a prophecy for the end times. The Israelis that are on that land right now, that's not a prophecy. This prophecy that's coming to pass is a true prophecy of Israel. The black, the Hispanic, the Native American Indian will wake up. We will realize that we are the children of the Lord, and the Lord will hear us, hear our plea, hear our cry, see that we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and we will become a nation again. And let me tell you something, that's not too far away, because as you can see, this movement called the Israelite movement, or this waking up of Israelites, is something that's fast flaming. It's going real quick. And a lot of people are waking up to this here truth, that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, the black from the Caribbean islands. There's always been prophecies. This here prophecy has never been fulfilled till this time. This is when this prophecy is being fulfilled. That's what I gotta say. And you know, in the last days, there's gonna be scoffers, right? Scoffers who are gonna come and tell us, you know, oh, you guys are that's nonsense. You know, that's not even true. You know, that you're speaking is not really a fact. You know, you guys are bringing stuff that's old, that the Christian church has always talked about. But we should know first, right, that there shall come in the last day scoffers, man, and they're walking after their own lust, man, doing their own thing. You know, they need to get that car, they need to get them riches, they need to get that property, they need to have that bill. You know what I'm saying? That's the people that gotta be there. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones, and saying that that the promise is coming and coming and it never came. Well, let me tell you something, man. That promise is here, right? And it's time that we fulfill it as Israelites, right? And that's why we have to that's why we have to come out and know that. If you have any questions, if you have anything to say, you know, you can come on in and ask me any question you got. You know, come on to the show, talk to me about what's happening, you know, what's going on today in your area, or anything of interest that came up today. You know, that's what the show is about all of us coming together and being able to speak on important subjects and what's going on. You know, I'm glad you all joined my show. I'm glad you tuned in. You know, every Wednesday estamos aquí para todos los nativos, los indios, los negritos. Estamos aquí para decirles que nosotros somos los hijos escogidos de la Biblia, ¿verdad? Y que Dios está aquí para nosotros. Y Dios está para podernos enseñar el camino a la verdad. Y si no estamos en esto, entonces, ¿quién va a estar en esto, verdad? ¿Quién nos va a acompañar en esto? I spoke today. I'm going to kind of go back to what I spoke today. I spoke today about Chicano Park in San Diego, and I wanted to speak on this because I'm going to take a trip to San Diego and see what's going on and bring the news about what's going on with my people. You know, this weekend we have an important date with Destiny. Chicano Park is being trying to be gentle, you know, just like now to San Diego, Chicano Park, and take over this park, bring down those important murals that stand in Chicano Park that have been there for decades, since the 1800s. You know, these murals are part of the Latino Chicano history here in California, and we can't allow these people to come in here and just take land at their want. You know what I mean? Just because they're running for office or running for something, they think they can come in here and take over important landmarks that are Chicano landmarks, especially here in California. You know what I mean? We see the gentrification of our areas, gentrification of New York, gentrification of England, you know, and it's time that we as a people begin to speak up on this. And more importantly, for our ancestors who were robbed, raped, and murdered, and for our children and our grandchildren that are growing up in a lie, to speak up and speak truth and teach our children the truth about who we are and where we came from in our heritage. It's time that we stand up and we keep this going, for that after us, our children can continue this fight for truth, because that's what it is. It's a fight for truth. We're out here to tell the truth that has been covered up for decades, for centuries. They've been covering up a truth and teaching us lies. And it's time that we come up and we speak up on what is the reality of who we are and where we came from. Para toda mi gente de Latinoamérica, yo sé que hoy me pasé un poquito con el inglés. Sabemos que esta es nuestra historia, los latinoamericanos de donde venimos. Si tú escuchaste mi programa anteriormente, hablé de los mandamientos en cual Dios nos dio para que nosotros guardáramos, que estuviéramos como una nación y que estemos juntos para poder salir adelante con nuestra propia gente. Estas cosas que están pasando en Mexicali, en Tijuana, donde están arrebatando el agua, los gasolinazos que están pasando en México ahorita, con eso de la gente mexicana, a toda Latinoamérica, lo que le está pasando a la gente de El Salvador y Guatemala, la gente de Honduras, que ahorita está en una presión también muy alta. Todas estas son nuestra gente, y si no hablamos nosotros, ¿quién va a hablar? ¿Por qué nos vamos a quedar callados? Parece que toda nuestra gente se han quedado callados bastante tiempo, y es tiempo que nosotros levantemos esta voz, ¿verdad? Nosotros aquí en la Escuela Israelita de Sabiduría Práctica, para eso estamos nosotros. Somos la voz de las personas que no pueden hablar por ellos mismos. Y si ellos hablan, nosotros les vamos a ayudar en estos medios de comunicativos que tenemos ahora, de poder hablar y poder ayudar a nuestra gente. Si no estamos allí físicamente en estas redes del internet, podemos ayudar a despertar a la gente. Les voy a decir una cosa muy importante. En el tiempo cuando Pinochet, en el país de Chile, la gente quería que el mundo escuchara lo que les estaba pasando a ellos. En la tremenda masacre que estaba pasando a mi gente chileña, ellos habían querido poder tenido esta red de poder comunicarse con el mundo, lo que le estaba. Como Pinochet y su DINA, los policías de ese tiempo, estaban haciendo desaparecer a los hombres y a los hijos de estas mujeres, desapareciendo a las mujeres también. Cuando llegó el Papa a Chile, los niños querían que el Papa dijera en televisión nacional, televisión mundial, que estas cosas estaban pasando y que el mundo ayudara a Chile. ¿Y saben qué? El Papa se rehusó en decir cualquier cosa que ayudara a Chile de salir de su tiempo. Mire, la gente chileña pasó por mucho. Lo siento por esa gente y la gente que quedó sobreviviente de esos tiempos. Todavía tienen que cargar eso que les pasó a ellos. Pero gente chileña no están solos. Nosotros los mexicanos también pasamos por lo mismo en el tiempo de la Plaza de Tres Culturas. La gente de El Salvador también pasó lo que Panamá, la gente de Venezuela ahora en este tiempo. Todos nosotros estamos pasando por lo mismo. Así como les pasó a ustedes, nos pasó a nosotros, a todo latinoamericano le ha pasado igual. Por eso tenemos que tener compasión. Hay que enseñarnos que nosotros somos los hijos escogidos del Todopoderoso y que tenemos que unirnos en una bandera que es la bandera de Israel, que somos nosotros y no esos güeros que están allá en Israel ahorita. Nosotros somos los hijos elegidos del Todopoderoso, tal y como está dicho en la Biblia. Por eso estamos pasando lo que pasamos, ¿verdad? Y por eso nosotros estamos extendiendo esta voz y ayudando a todo el que podemos con decirles a todo el mundo que estas cosas están pasando. No hagas de menos los que están viendo este programa. Ayuda, haz algo por tu nación, haz algo por tu gente, la gente de Israel. And what I said to all my people that are watching that don't understand the Spanish language, I'm telling all my people that, you know, this has happened. What's happening to the blacks, the Hispanics, the Native American Indian has happened to all of Latin America. During the time of Chile, you know, the massacre that Pinochet did on Chile, you know, the people wish that there was this that we have today, which is the internet, right? The media, this media that we have. They wish they would have had that because they wanted the world to see and to hear what was happening to them during the reign of Pinochet and his police officers known as the DINA, which were just like the Gestapo. What they did to those damn Jews, these people, the Americans implemented this government there, they did to our people of Chile. And let me tell you, they made men and children disappear. They buried them in the airports, shooting them dead in the lines, you know, and they killed thousands upon thousands of people. They were disappearing them. And they wish they could have had this media that we have today to raise a voice and talk about what's going on in our countries, to raise a voice and talk about what's going on to the American people. Every time you post something, it's a help to those for other people can hear. The word's got to get out. And that's what the ISUPK, that's what we're here for. We're taught to not stay silent, but to raise a voice for our people, the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. And as long as we continue speaking, as long as we continue raising a voice, you know what? We will always be able to help each other out. So let's not stay silent. To stay silent is the same as to do nothing, which is the same as to go and do what they're doing. So that's why we got to raise our voice. I thank everybody for watching. I'm here every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Be sure to stay for watch Captain Operium's class at 3 o'clock. He teaches Puerto Rico, the ISUPK Puerto Rico, para toda mi gente de Latinoamérica. Sintoniza con el Capitán Ash Operium, que está de ISUPK Puerto Rico, para que sintonices con él. And don't forget, the Passover coming March 30th, at the Passover on Friday, March 30th in New York City. Get your ticket, fly out there. It's mandatory by the Lord that we keep the Passover, right? We keep the lamb and the Passover. So stay tuned for us, and thank you for watching. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and staying in touch with us. You know, I got the class ISUPK on Salakia on YouTube, ISUPK Latinoamérica. Estamos aquí sintonizando también todos los miércoles. Así que gracias por estarnos viendo y nos vemos la próxima semana. Le doy a todos Yahweh Shim Yahweh Shai y buenas noches y gracias por sintonizar, ¿verdad? Shalom Israel.